Hello everyone, and welcome to this video lecture. And this video lecture is going to explain how to solve a comprehensive variance analysis question. And this question is quite long, so please be patient. I will walk through all the details with you so that you can have a very good understanding of budget and variance analysis. Okay. So this company, well, first of all, I'm going to skip reading the question because I would assume that you have read the question before you start watching the steps how to solve this problem. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and jump to the question very quickly. So first of all, let's find the selling price variance. Okay, so selling price variance, we're looking at if we fix the sales volume. Okay, how the selling price is going to affect the revenue and everything. So you have the actual selling price and you have the budgeted, like forecast selling price. So they might be different, and depending on what sales volume we're going to use, then we're going to find the selling price variance. As a matter of fact, the selling price variance uses the actual sales volume. Okay, so we fix the actual sales volume. So let's think about how accurate you can forecast the selling price. That's basically what this variance is talking about. So let me come back here, and I'm going to start with 1A. So the selling price, I will have the actual one, okay, actual selling price, and I will have the budgeted selling price, okay, and I will have the actual sales volume. Okay, so I needed these three elements. So the actual selling price, how to find it? So all I have to do is go to this the summary here, the table here. So I have revenues, I have units sold. If I divide the actual revenues by the actual units sold, then I will get actual selling price. So same for the static budget amounts. So this will give me the budgeted selling price as well. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead do the calculation in this way. So first of all, let me kind of minimize this Excel a little bit. Okay, so here what I'm going to do is I will divide 576,700 by 7,300. So the selling price is $79. For the budgeted selling price, I will have 608,400 divided by 7,800. So I'll get $78. So finally, okay, the actual sales volume gave me 7,300, which is given, pretty clear. So now the selling price variance is basically you multiply the actual selling price, okay, by the actual sales volume, then minus the budgeted selling price multiplied by the sales volume. Okay. So the difference is 7,300 because actual selling price is a lot higher. So which means, okay, you kind of underestimate the selling price. So now you definitely will be very pleased if the actual selling price is higher. Okay, so the selling price variance becomes favorable. So I'm going to put that in green. So green means favorable, and red means unfavorable. Okay, so that's 1A. So now let's take a look at 1B. So 1B is we need to find the sales volume variance and the flexible budget variance for operating income in the format of the analysis in Exhibit 7.2. So I would encourage you to take a look at Exhibit 7.2. So Exhibit 7.2, we have to walk through all the details. We have to show pretty much everything. Okay, so that's kind of a challenging part because it's all over the place. So I'm going to go ahead and set up the table in the following way. So I will have the actual column and the flexible budget variances and the flexible budget. Okay, and we'll have the sales volume, okay, variances, and I'll have the static, okay, budget. Okay, so that's what I have. Okay, that's what I have. So I'm going to put them in the middle. All right. So first of all, I'm going to start with units sold. Okay, the units are sold here, and you check the question. We know that it's 7,300 for the actual one. For flexible budget, is going to be 7,300. So flexible budget is kind of hybrid. Okay, we're going to use the actual volume, okay, Okay, actual volume, but we're going to use the budgeted rates, so that's kind of a thing here. Okay, so that's what we have. So we have 7,300 for actual flexible budget and 7,800 for static budget. So perfect. Then let's take a look at the revenues. Okay, revenues. For the revenues, now we can just go back to this table and we can copy. So we have 576,700 for actual results, and we have a static budget which is 608,400. So now we need to find the flexible budget. Okay, so how to find it? So actually the number is sort of given, kind of we know how to find it. So what you need to do is, okay, I'm going to use the units sold, then multiplied by, okay, the actual units sold multiplied by the price forecasted, which is 78. Okay, 78. Okay, if you don't see that, you can go back here. I'm going to multiply the actual sales volume by the budgeted selling price. Okay, so I get a number between, always in the middle. Okay, so now you can find the difference between each pairs. So I will use actual to minus this number. This ABS means absolute value. So regardless which one is bigger, which one is smaller, this ABS will always give me positive result. Okay, so I don't have to deal with negative sign. Okay. So same here. Okay, I can calculate difference between the flexible budget revenues and the static budget revenues. Okay. Alright, so I get these numbers. Now I have to decide whether it's favorable or unfavorable. So for this number, you can see that the actual revenues are much bigger, so I'm going to make this favorable. Okay, that's great. And for these sales volume variances, okay, so we can see that, okay, due to the sales volume changes, actually, sorry, I need to put a here, variances. This typo here. So this number actually is unfavorable because the sales volumes actually sales volume is much less. It's much less than your forecast. So definitely you have a losing the revenues forecasted. So therefore you have unfavorable sales volume variance. So next I'm going to talk about the variable cost. Okay. Okay, so for the variable cost, I'm going to have DM frames and DM lenses, and I will have direct manufacturing labor. Okay, and I will have the total variable cost. Okay, total variable cost. Then I will have a fixed manufacturing cost. Okay, then I will have a total cost, and finally I will have a gross margin. Okay, so it's going to be a lot of long calculations. So first of all, I'm going to find the DM frame. For actual results, it's given. Okay, it's given. So you have to read basically this paragraph and that paragraph. Okay, so I'm going to assume that you have read them and you do have numbers next to. So I'm going to just go ahead put all the numbers in this frame here. So first of all, for the DM frame, the actual one we have a 70,080. Okay, perfect. And for the static budget, we have a 35,880. Perfect. Okay, so for the flexible budget is going to be pretty easy to do. Basically, you divide this by 7,800, then multiply it by 7,300. Okay, that's how you get a number in the middle. Okay, then we can find the difference between these values. Okay, and also here. Okay, the difference between these values. Okay. All right, so you find the variances. Okay, first one is flexible budget variance, and because the DM frame costs are much higher, so in the actual business operations, so therefore it's going to be unfavorable. Okay. Then let's take a look at sales volume variance. Because sales volume drops, so you do have a lot of savings in the DM frame cost by 2,300. So for this one, we're going to have a favorable variance due to the sales volume change. Okay. Now let's come to the DM length. Okay. So here once again we can I will assume that you copy down the numbers. Okay, and this one 96, 720, they're given. So similarly, you can compute the number here. Okay, so I'm gonna just drag down here. You divide this number. Divide the 96,720 by 7,800, then multiplied by 7,300. That's how you get this number. You can also check this formula. Then go ahead and find the difference, find the variance. So I'm going to put down here and put down there. Okay. So I should slow down a little bit because I don't want to assume that okay, one is favorable, one is unfavorable. So let me get them to the black. Then I will adjust their color based on their favorable or unfavorable status. So for this one, this is 40,880. That's the difference between the actual DM cost lenses and the actual DM lenses cost here. And because the costs are going up, so in the actual case, so we have unfavorable. And in the flexible budget, it's a lot of less than the static budget, so we are going to have actually favorable. Okay, so that's how you get a favorable. Okay. All right, so now let's go to the direct we call the direct manufacturing cost. Once again, I think this number is given, so I'm going to just copy down that number. 145,124, and right here we have 140,400. Okay, so now let's find the flexible budget. Okay, so we divide this number by 7,800, then multiplied by 7,300. How is that? So now we can figure out, okay, what is the direct manufacturing labor cost in flexible budget. Here it is. Okay, so we can go ahead and find the difference. Okay, find the difference. All right, so we get these difference. So well, because of the direct manufacturing labor costs in the actual operations are higher than the ones in the FB variances, flexible budget. Flexible budget here. So therefore, this is going to be actually in red. Okay, in red, and which is unfavorable for the flexible budget DML cost. Okay, we can take a look at it, and it's a lot of less than the static budget. Well, not a lot, but definitely less than the static budget DML cost. So it's going to be favorable. So I'm going to put that in green. Perfect. So now let's come to the total variable cost. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add all these numbers. Okay. Okay. So I get 346,604, and here I'm going to have sorry, I think I did something horrible, right? D11 to D13. Right. Okay, so I have 255,500, and for this one, it's going to be 273,000. Okay, so now you can go ahead and compute the difference. Okay. Once again, this is the actual flexible budget, not static budget. Okay. So it's always the left minus right. I've got the absolute value there. Okay. So I have a 91,104. that's total variable cost variance, and that's unfavorable because you can see that actual operating results show the much larger variable cost. Sorry, then therefore I'm going to put that in, put this number in red, okay, because it's unfavorable. And for the number here, which is sales volume variance, that's going to be in green. Okay, in green. All right, so let's take a look at the fixed manufacturing cost. And this number is given, so it's 111,000. Okay, and for the static budget, it's given, it's 114,000. And the flexible budget actually uses the static budget, so that's why normally you have zero sales volume variances. Okay, but they do sometimes have flexible budget variance. So let's go ahead and find the differences. Okay, so here this one we have 3,000, and because it's getting smaller, so it's a favorable, right? So we have 3,000 favorable fixed manufacturing cost variances. Then the total cost is going to be, we add total variable cost to fixed manufacturing cost. For this one we have 457,604, and for this one we're going to add also the total variable cost to fixed manufacturing cost. So we have this number, and for the static budget we have the 387,000. Perfect. Okay, so now you can go ahead, calculate once again the difference between the different total costs. Okay, so we have 88,104, and for this one we have this number. Okay, this number. So it's 17,500. Okay, and you can see that total costs in the actual results are much larger than the flexible budget. So this one is definitely unfavorable. And here the flexible budget total costs are less than the ones in the static budget. So we're gonna have green, okay, which is favorable. Okay, favorable. So now we can go ahead and find the gross margin. Okay, so the gross margin is going to be, we have, or you can call this operating income. This is close enough to operating income. But anyway, let's go ahead. So for the gross margin, we are going to use, the revenues. Okay, and use that to minus the total cost. Okay, and the same here. Is going to be revenues, okay, minus total cost, and for this one is going to be revenues minus total cost. Oh, sorry, I don't need this one. I don't know why it's coming out. But anyway, so you have 119,096 and 199,900 and 221,400. So perfect. So similarly, we're going to find the difference between these numbers, okay, so that we can understand the variances, and figure out the possible reasons causing these variances. All right, so here you get 80,804. Okay, so this is actually the flexible budget variance. Okay, and because it's the gross margin, operating actual results, actual gross margin, okay, is much less than the flexible budget gross margin. So therefore, we're going to consider this is unfavorable because kind of you lose money. And here you receive less income. Here and this flexible budget, okay, is a lot of less than this static budget gross margin, so therefore we're going to have to make this also unfavorable red. So you can actually review this table a little bit. Let me just highlight something here. So although you have a lot of favorable variances in the cost control, variable cost, total cost, but because your revenue, this unfavorable revenue variance is killing, it's too big, so that's why it's dominating the final result. Finally, you still get unfavorable gross margin, okay, variance. Okay, so that's basically what we have here. And also, if you add these two numbers, okay, that will give you the we call the static okay, budget variance. Okay, and this is basically the result of this number, add to that number. Okay, so the static budget variance is 102,304, and that's unfavorable. Okay, or you can find the difference between these two numbers. Okay, so that's about this. Alright, so 1B is done. Now let's take a look at 1C, the price and efficiency variances. And we know that actually for this part we only need to deal with the following. So we have the actual costs, okay, and we have the actual input, okay, actual input quantity, okay, multiplied by the budgeted price. And for last one, we're looking at flexible budget. Okay, flexible budget. So that's what we have here. Okay, and we do have a few numbers already. We have a DM frames, right? Okay, and we have a DM length for many of them as well. So basically, we're just asked to deal with those three things: direct material cost, frames, lenses, and also direct manufacturing labor. Okay, so not bad, not bad. Okay, and we have actually some numbers sitting there already. So for this one, I'm gonna just copy down the numbers. Okay, 70,000 and 80. For this one, I'm looking at 131,400, and for the DML, we have 145,124. Okay, and for the flexible budget, we have everything in the middle here, right? All these three. So make sure you copy down that. So 33,580, and we have 90,520, and we have 131,400. Okay, and this is going to be the we call it price, okay, variances. And for this one, we're gonna have they call it efficiency variance. Okay, so that's a pretty cool thing. Okay, now we're gonna find all these three numbers. Once we have them, then we can find the price variances and efficiency variances. Okay, so before I go there, I really want to mention a few things. Okay, so for the actual cost and for the actual input quantity times budgeted price, and the last one is flexible budget cost. So basically, how we deal with all the three issues, I want to mention again, because I mentioned that in the class, I know, but I still want to mention that again. So each one of them indeed has three numbers. You have to multiply them together to come up with. Okay, for instance, for the actual cost, we are looking at, okay, the actual output. I'm talking about how many final products. Okay, then for every product, how many units of inputs of resources? Could it be labor? Could it be material? So I'm going to put basically, you can call that material uses, or you can call that quantity of the actual, okay, the actual units of inputs allowed for each output. I know it's very kind of a weird long term here. Then we talk about actual rate, actual input rate. Okay, actual input rate. For instance, let's talk about the materials. So we're looking at, okay, for making a jacket, we have 100 jackets we try to make in actual operating results, and for every jacket we're going to use 2 yards of leather, and that's actual usage, and the actual supplies price that we have to respect, let's say, $100 per square yard. So you have all three elements to tell you the actual cost of the leather materials for manufacturing 100 jackets. Okay, so same here. Okay, similar here. So we're gonna have the actual. This is close enough except the last piece. The last piece we don't have actual rate. We have budgeted rate. Okay. Budget rate. Okay, so that's what we have. And for flexible budget, okay, once again it's very similar. Okay. I think it's similar, and I'm going to copy down that, except we have two budgeted. Okay, two budgeted. Okay. So we have three actual here, and actual budget, and actual budget. Okay, so that's what we have. If we have a budget, then we're looking at static budget. Okay. For static budget, everything is budgeted. Okay, which is kind of interesting here. Just kind of summary. Make sure you know how to do the calculations, everything. Okay, so I know that we're running out of space here, but that's how you get all these elements, find all their values. Alright, so let's go ahead and find the first DM frames. So actual output, easy, 7,300. Then let's find the actual units of inputs allowed for each output. So let's look at the frames. So the actual said that we're going to use the 4 ounces per unit. Okay, that's perfect. 4 ounces per unit. Okay, so from that perspective, okay, we can go ahead also find the actual rate. Okay, actual rate. So we're gonna do that. Okay, we're gonna do that. Okay, so I'm gonna open another Excel as a kind of a scratch paper so that I can get to the numbers. DM frames. Okay, so let's take a look at how to find the rate. Okay, the cost rate. Okay, so per ounce, how much it is. Okay. So what we have here is basically for frames. The actual is 70,080 divided by 4, then divided by 7,300. That's how you get the rate here. So for this one, I'm going to use 70,080. Okay, 70,080 divided by how many? Then divided by basically how many you know, the ounces. So it's a 2.4. You can see that. Okay, so that's how I find the rate, the actual rate. Okay, so for the budgeted rate, so this is a $2.4 per ounce. So for budgeted rate, the calculation is highly similar. It's extremely highly similar. So you're gonna use static, everything static numbers. Okay, for the frame, it's going to be you can apply 35,880, then divided by 7,800, then divided by 2 ounces. So you get a 2.3. Okay, 2.3. Alright, so that's what we need. Okay, so let's get back to the question. So for the DM frames, I'm going to use actual output 7,300, then multiplied by the actual units of inputs allowed for each output, so which is 4. Okay, 4 ounces per frame. Then multiplied by 2.3, the budgeted price, which is what we have here, 2.3. So then you will get 67,160. Alright, let's go ahead and compute the price variance and everything. Okay, so I'm going to use ABS here. Okay, and same here, I'm going to use ABS there. Okay, perfect. So now I have two numbers ready. So one is 2,920, one is 33,580. So you can see that DM frames, the actual DM frames cost more than the actual input quantity times budgeted price. Okay, and this number is due to the price. Why is this is 2.4, this is 2.3? So definitely this means unfavorable. Okay, unfavorable because it costs more. Now let's take out this number. Okay, so well, you flexible budget this much, but now due to the efficiency, okay, you use the 4 ounces here, you use the 2, right? So it's unfavorable. The cost getting higher, so this is unfavorable. Okay, so I'll put unfavorable there. So now let's talk about DM length. DM length. Okay, So it's going to be similar, right? Okay, for the actual rate, we're going to divide this budgeted cost by 4.0 ounces, then divided by 7,300. Oh, sorry, this is actually static, so we can divide this number by 4.0 by 7,800. Then for the actual ones, is this number divided by 6 by 7,300. So we're gonna do the calculation that follows. So first actual ones is 131,400. Then divided by 7,300. Then divided by 6, I believe. Okay, divided by 6, I believe. Yeah, it's right here, 6. Okay, so check this carefully. Then you get a 3. Now for the budgeted rate, DM length is going to be this number, 96,720 divided by 4 divided by 7,800. Okay, so that's how I get that. Okay, let me 96,720. Okay, so you get a 3.1 dollars per ounce. So now we can get back to the question. Okay, so for this one, it's going to be 73,000, then multiplied by, check, for the actual ones, multiplied by 6. Okay, multiplied by 6. Then multiplied by 3.1, which is right here. Sorry about it. Okay, so you end up with this number. Then go ahead and find the absolute value of the variances. Okay, so for the efficiency variance, we have the following. Okay, perfect. So for the price variances, we know that for the actual cost, we're looking at $3, and for the actual input times budget price, whatever, it's 3.1. So actually, you do save costs because of the price per unit of input. So this one actually is favorable. Okay, favorable. So you have the green one. And for this one, we look at efficiency. So if you read the question, the budget use 4 and the actual use 6. So which means actually you end up with a higher cost. So therefore, this is unfavorable. This is unfavorable. Okay, so we have numbers here. So now let's talk about the direct manufacturing labor. So it's a similar. Okay, it's a similar setup calculations. So we still have to use basically the information here to find out the labor cost. Okay, labor cost. So that's quite interesting. So here the actual labor cost rate is $14.20 per hour. Okay, so which is pretty interesting. And this one, the standard input for total is 1 hour per unit. Okay, so which is fine. So we can actually figure out pretty much everything in a similar manner. Okay, so so first of all, let's find out. Let's find out the cost per labor hour for static. So it's going to be 140 and 140,400 divided by 7,800, then by 1. Okay, so that's how we first find the budgeted rate for direct manufacturing labor hours. Okay, so we end up with I would say almost $18, right? Let me see if I get numbers incorrect. So it's 140,400. So I think I put the wrong number here. It's not a 140, 400. So get $18. Okay, $18, perfect. Okay, and this one, the actual rate is given $14.20. Okay, $14.20. Okay, so we don't have to calculate. However, we better find the inputs. Okay, the inputs per unit. Okay, inputs per unit. And how to do that? This number is a bit tricky. We know that this is 1 hour per unit, correct? Per unit of output, 1 hour. How about this one? It's not a given. So what we do is we can divide the actual cost by the actual labor rate. Then you will figure out how many manufacturing labor hours. Then divide that by the actual units sold. Okay, so that's how you do that. So it's 145, 124 divided by 7,300, then divided by 14,020. Okay, that's how you find the usage of manufacturing labor hours. So it's 145 and 124 divided by $14.20, then divided by the number of units manufactured. So we're looking at 1.4 hours per unit. Okay, so that's about the kind of efficiency. So for every unit, it will take about 1.4 hours in the actual operations, but the budgeted rate is, we believe that, okay, when we make a budget, is about 1 hour, takes 1 hour to complete one unit. Okay, so you can see the efficiency problems arising there. Okay. But anyway, now let's go back to the sheet 1 to figure out the number in the middle. So we're going to use this one, okay, the actual output, then multiplied by 1.4 hours required in actual business operations, then multiplied by the rate, which is $18. Okay, so you get 183,096. And for this one, we can go ahead and find the difference between numbers. Okay, and to figure out price and efficiency variances in a minute. Okay, perfect. Okay. Sorry. So we get those numbers. So here you can see that the manufacturing labor hours, because of the price variances, here you pay 18, now you pay the $14.20 for whatever reason. So it does save money, so you can put a green there. Okay, and for this one, because of the efficiency issue, it should be 1 hour, but now it takes 1.4 hours. So therefore there is efficiency problem, costs more money, so I'm going to put that in red, is unfavorable. Okay, unfavorable. So you have the price variance and efficiency variance is determined, and you also figure out their status, favorable or unfavorable. Okay, so that's basically what we have here. So now we talk about the question 2. Okay, the question 2 actually is more interesting because we try to use these numbers to give 3 possible explanations for each of them. So 1C has 3 parts: frame, length, and labor. So let's take a look at what we have. Okay, why you have price variances? Okay, price variances. Okay, so that's how you get that. So there are many explanations. Okay, there are many explanations you can think about. Okay, so what we can do is so first of all, I'm going to look at the possible explanations for the price variances. Price variances. Okay, so you have 1 unfavorable and 2 favorable, correct? Okay, so first of all, you can think about unexpected outcomes from purchase, because you have to negotiate with suppliers, and maybe labor or union, whatever negotiation. Or could it be that a lot of senior people left, then you hire a lot of junior people, so that's why they cannot, they have efficiency problem, but they cost less. Okay, so that's one of the reasons. For the second, and once again I'll try to put all of them. So the reason you have price variance, and especially the length, could be, well, basically the quality of the frames are higher, so they charge more now. Okay, so you have high quality of frames and lower quality of lenses. That's possible, right? So that's why you have price variance there. Okay. So and also could be wrong standards set in the beginning, which is possible. Sometimes you over or underestimate. So next, let's talk about efficiency. So efficiency, there are a couple issues. First of all, because of the you can see that they are all unfavorable. So many reasons. Low quality of lenses, that's why it's causing the efficiency issues, and it's too cheap, so a lot of damages. You have to overuse some of the materials to complete the work, so it's kind of a low quality of analysis, right? Then that's give you the efficiency issues. Okay, and the next one could be the unskilled workers, right? You know, you pay them less, and because a lot of senior workers left, now you hired a bunch of unskilled workers. Okay, so they're not well trained, so that's how you get that. Okay, and once again, could be the wrong standards set in the beginning. Okay, so that's about this question. So I will post everything online, and please review this question, and you can do try to do everything by yourself, and feel free to ask me if you have any questions about this particular problem and also our lectures, because this variance analysis is quite interesting, very useful, very important, okay, in cost accounting, and actually it's a lot of fun. So feel free to stop by my office if you need any help. Alright, so that's it, and thank you for watching. Bye.